I'm going to start giving brief, simple reviews of books that I have already read. YouTube does not push my videos, or pretty much anybody's. Even if you're subscribed and hit the bell notification, you actually have to go to my channel manually yourself to find the videos and watch them. So if you like what you're seeing here, the information that I provide, the philosophical essays, the cerebral content, the book reviews, etc., you're going to have to manually go to my YouTube channel and find the videos. I post new videos every day, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the video essays in particular. And I'll probably read again at some point in the near future so I can refresh my memory on them. And maybe that'll even become a series on this channel. Welcome to day something or other until I'm a YouTube millionaire. Today I'm going to give you a brief review of a book that I read a long time ago by the name of Ender's Game. Many of you have probably read this book. It's a coming-of-age title, really for children and tweens and teens. So from the ages of 11 to 17, children about that age are the individuals for which it's appropriate. But it follows the life of a child that has been intentionally bred from his parents, and almost like cattle. Yeah, I know it's a totalitarian military state that they're under because of stuff that they had to deal with earlier in their history. But he's specifically bred because he's of high intelligence. They say at one point in the book that there are about 3,000 people on the entire face of the planet that have his level of intelligence or more, which, if you don't know, equates to about an IQ of 175. So, very, very rare, very powerful mind. Basically, an extraterrestrial species of hive mind ant insectoids attacks the Earth, not realizing that the Earth is populated by intelligent sentient beings. Because they're a centralized hive mind, they require that central source of consciousness to make a big decision on what they're doing. Everybody else just follows the orders. It's kind of a much more extreme version of the hierarchy that we have in our species. So there's only one real decision maker, and all the other people just do the things that need to be done. Kind of similar to what many people are thinking AI is going to turn us into in the near future, when it's going to decentralize the things that it's asking you to do. You don't know why it's asking for them to be done. You just know that you're going to get paid for it, and you do it. It could be collecting a bag of corn and bringing it to another person to feed an employee at a specific job for the purposes of advancing the architecture of artificial intelligence programs, and these people that need the food are specifically doing that task, and the artificial intelligence is trying to expedite the process of that happening. So you won't know, but you're just doing the little things here and there. The difference between the hive mind of the ant species is they don't have an internal locus of morality, so they can't determine, killing a creature that I have to, on my individual level, make a decision whether they are conscious or not, that is conscious, is immoral, and I should not do that. It is where in the United States military, for example, you are told that as an officer, it is your duty, not just you are able to, it is your duty to disobey an unlawful order. With these hive mind creatures, they wouldn't be able to do that. They are incapable of it because they don't have that ability to make the decision right there. They're just in the hive mind. Now for you and me, we do. So I can say you don't unalive people because they cross the street because they jaywalk or something like that. Or you don't try to clear a path in an entire plot of land if, in other words, scorched earth, an entire plot of land, if there are people living on it. These ant hive mind creatures wouldn't realize that there were people living on it. So that's what's happening in this story. And unfortunately, the main character, Ender, is playing this out and actually, in a way, ends up being just like the hive mind, because he's just following orders, basically thinking he's going through training, when in fact, for the first part he is, but then the end stages of his training, he's actually literally fighting the hive creatures, and he doesn't realize that he is. He thinks it's still part of the training. But he does such a good job at it that he ends up destroying basically their entire species. And there's like one egg that's still alive, and he carries it with him when they leave the home world. But it is a very good story. It really is. He didn't have the ability to object to the immoral nature of what he was being told to do, partially because he was a child and didn't have a fully developed free will, and because they didn't give him all the information he needed. And he was trusting. So it goes with the human species. Our civilization, our cultures, let's say in the United States, for example, is built upon a high degree of trust. If you don't have a high degree of trust, then what ends up happening is you have tens upon hundreds upon millions of thousands of pages of laws on the books, in order to keep people in line. And the more trust is eroded over time, by the way, that's something that's happening in the United States. We have just an inordinate number of laws across the board, all over the damn place. We don't even know which ones to follow and which ones not to. It's said that the average American citizen commits like 2 felonies a day without even realizing it. Something like that. But the more trust is eroded, the more of those laws are created to try to rein in the people that you can't trust. So it's kind of a balancing act. And I think that's one of the big things that the author is trying to articulate in that book. I believe it's written by Orson Scott Card, if I'm not mistaken. He is, as a person, relatively strange, but the book itself is quite good. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do. The live-action movie that they made from it, they did not do a good job. Personal opinion. It was something, I guess. For people who wanted the book to be made into a movie, they got something. And they can see perhaps a piece of what they were imagining, but it's not faithful to the story. Not like it should be. So I don't really recommend the movie, but the book is good. So for children that age, between the ages of 11 and 17, they'll get their juices flowing. And for a person like myself, if you're in your 30s or whatever, or older, it'll also get your juices flowing if you know the concepts that are trying to be portrayed. Basically, it's about free will and trust, and why we must do everything that we can to not breach one another's trust, to not betray, to not abandon your morality. Don't. All right. There you go, guys. Ender's Game, recommend. That's all I got for this one. Love y'all. Peace.